All right, let's jump right in. We're talking about a piece of tech that is seriously changing the game for intelligence agencies and other high-stakes fields. It's called Retrieval-Augmented Generation, or just RAG for short. And its whole purpose is to give us AI-powered insights that are actually, based on facts you can check. So here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll look at the huge data problem that made something like RAG necessary in the first place. Then, we'll get into what the RAG solution is and take a peek under the hood at how it thinks. After that, we'll see some real-world examples and then wrap up with the current challenges and what's next on the horizon. Okay, so to really get why RAG is such a big deal, you have to start with the problem it's trying to solve. And for any modern intelligence agency, that problem is simple. They're drowning in an absolute ocean of data. I mean, we're talking about a total information deluge. There are just way too many reports, signals, and messages flooding in, way too fast for any team of humans to sort through by hand. And that creates a massive bottleneck. The risk is huge that one critical piece of information gets missed, misunderstood, or just shows up too late to matter. This leads to a double-edged sword, really. On one side, you have human analysts. They're experts for sure, but they're still human, which means they're vulnerable to cognitive biases. On the other side, you've got your standard large language models, your LLMs, and their big weakness? They can hallucinate. They can just invent things and state them with complete confidence. In national security, that's a risk you absolutely cannot take. So, what's the fix? How do you get the speed and power of AI without the terrifying risk of it just making stuff up? Well, that's exactly where Retrieval-Augmented Generation, or RAG, steps in as a really elegant solution. At its core, what RAG does is brilliant. It's an AI setup that combines the incredible reasoning power of a large language model with something very important: factual, verifiable evidence from a specific library of information. It's the bridge between generating creative text and sticking to the hard facts. And this is the key, the thing that makes RAG so powerful. It basically forces the AI to show its work. Before it can write a single word of an answer, it has to first go and retrieve the relevant documents from a trusted source. This is the safeguard. It makes sure that everything the AI says is directly backed by evidence. It's an AI that, for once, actually cites its sources. Okay, so we know what it is, but how does a RAG system actually, think? The process is actually pretty straightforward once you break it down. It really all boils down to a two-step dance. It starts when a person asks a question. First, a retrieval module acts like a search engine on steroids to find the relevant source documents. Then, and only then, a generation module uses that specific material to write an answer that's grounded in facts. Let's look at that first part, the retrieval module. The best way to think about it is as an incredibly intelligent librarian. When you ask it a question, it doesn't just scan for keywords. No, it uses some pretty advanced tech to understand the actual meaning and context of what you're asking. That lets it find the most relevant info, even if the wording is totally different. So once our super librarian finds the right books and articles, the second part kicks in, the generation module. And you can think of this as a really skilled analyst. Its one and only job is to take the evidence it's been handed, and only that evidence, and weave it into a clear, easy-to-read summary. Because it's locked into using just that information, it literally can't go off script and start making things up. No hallucinations. Now, all this sounds great in theory, right? But where is it actually making a difference? Let's talk about some real-world applications where RAG is already proving to be a total game changer. A perfect example is threat intelligence. Analysts have to try and spot new threats hidden in this giant sea of public information, what they call OSINT. It's a perfect job for a RAG system. So here's how that might look. A RAG system can be set up to constantly monitor huge floods of data. News sites, forums, social media, you name it. It can spot weird patterns, like a sudden burst of chatter about a new software bug, and then automatically write up a quick, concise report for the people who need to know. It just speeds everything up dramatically. And it's not just for sifting through the internet. Another critical area is in direct military support, where getting the right information at the right time can literally be the difference between success and failure. For commanders, a RAG system can be a huge asset. It can pull together intelligence from all different places, say connect a radio signal to a satellite photo to give a real-time picture of the battlefield. It can even keep a running tally of the enemy's forces, giving commanders a much clearer, up-to-the-minute view of what they're up against. Of course, RAG isn't a magic wand. It's an amazing tool, but it comes with its own set of pretty big challenges that we have to think about as we look to the future. You can see the trade-offs right here. The benefits? They're massive. You get way better accuracy, incredible speed, and you can reduce some of that human bias. But the challenges are just as real. The system is only as smart as the data you feed it, it takes a ton of computing power to run, and getting the AI to explain why it came to a conclusion is still a work in progress. And that brings us to the biggest challenge of all, summed up in that old saying, garbage in, garbage out. A RAG system's answers are completely 100% dependent on the quality of its knowledge library. If your source material is wrong, or biased, or just old, then the AI's answers will be too. Getting that data right is everything. So what does this all mean for the future? Well, the goal isn't to replace human analysts, not at all. It's about building a brand new and much more powerful kind of partnership between humans and AI. In this future, the analyst's job changes. They go from digging for needles in a haystack to being the orchestrator of these powerful AI tools. RAG systems themselves will get smarter, moving beyond just text to analyze images, video, and all sorts of sensor data at the same time. And the ultimate goal? To go from just answering our questions to being proactive. Imagine an AI that doesn't wait for you to ask. It alerts you because it spotted a strange pattern across shipping logs, financial markets, and online chatter that points to a crisis before it even happens. So when you boil it all down, REG is a massive step towards making AI a partner we can actually rely on. By tying its power to real, verifiable facts, it builds the trust we absolutely need to make critical decisions based on data. And that leaves us with one last, kind of fascinating question to chew on. As these AI systems get better and better at blending fact-finding with reasoning, where do we draw the line? Who, or maybe what, is the real analyst?